Alright, welcome back to Sonic Unleashed, where we are wrapping things up in the normal kind of gameplay here. What we are going to go do is fight the final boss of the normal kind of gameplay, because what we're about to enter into after this is what I would consider kind of like the overtime mode almost, where this is the end of the normal gameplay, and then after this is the last story, if it was like Sonic Adventure or whatever. I also happen to think that this is probably the worst boss in the game. It's certainly the worst daytime boss in the game. It, you know, follows the same rules and paths that the other daytime bosses follow, where it's moving away from you and you're always running towards it. Which is an okay formula, but in this one, you know, it's a little bit more tricky. While this is more difficult, like legitimately difficult than other bosses, that's not why I don't like it. You know, I don't dislike things just because it's difficult. There are a lot of dumb things in this that kill you instantly. Like in that area, it's pretty easy to fall off that. There's some tricky things, and I remember the first time through, this boss took me like forever to beat. Although recording it here actually wasn't as bad as I remember it, but it's still not, you know, my favorite boss in the game. I think you can miss those prompts actually, which obviously is not a very good thing, because you can see there we just did half his health. Boosting into him does do more damage than homing attacking him. So there's just those few things that you learn that make these bosses go a little bit quicker. See, I like this concept of the boss, like dodging the lasers on this kind of slope where you're running on a wall. I think that's really cool. And then you gotta boost into them and avoid those things. I think that's cool. But the first time through, this is a very frustrating fight. And it utilizes a lot of the cooler elements of the boost gameplay, so I guess it's all right now, but again, it's still not one of my favorite bosses in the game. And we're actually, I think, about to finish him here. Yeah, there he is. So, not as bad as I remember, but still kind of annoying. It took me like 3 tries to get that right. And that is actually going to be an S rank, which is kind of funny. So I was really not expecting to get... well, first off, I wasn't expecting to get any S ranks. Second off, I definitely wasn't expecting to get an S rank on my least favorite boss in the game. And with that, we can restore yet another continent.
What's wrong, buddy?
Huh? Oh, right. I'm just scared.
Scared? It's just another old temple. It doesn't look like there's anyone around either.
That's not what I mean. That's not... Never mind. I'm fine. Let's go.
Whoa.
Those murals have been in every single one of the temples. Have they not noticed them before this point?
I welcome your return. messenger of day, of light, of rebirth.
I've said this before, and I think it's the most important to say here. Chip could have been a very good character if his voice wasn't so obnoxiously awful.
Sonic, I remember now. All of it.
And there we go. We only got one more continent left to fix, and then the world is ours. Sorry, I mean the world is fixed. Okay, we can move on now. We've seen enough of the world. Thank you.
My real name is Light Gaia. I draw power from the day and light, and guide the planet to its rebirth. My job was to protect the planet from Dark Gaia. But Eggman broke the world apart himself, and Dark Gaia and I were awakened before we should have been. That's why Dark Gaia broke apart, and I didn't know who I was. I didn't remember what I was supposed to do. All because this isn't the proper time of awakening.
Time of awakening?
Dark Gaia grows over millions of years, then rises to destroy the world. And I put it all back together. We've been doing this over and over, again and again, since the very beginning of time.
So you were asleep all this time? For millions of years?
Yes, for ages and ages.
I bet it's thanks to you. Even at night when I'm like this, I'm still myself, not like all the other people we've seen. You must have been protecting me this whole time.
I haven't done anything, Sonic. You're the reason you haven't changed at all. You're too strong to lose yourself.
I'm the reason?
Yeah, you never doubt yourself, no matter what. You never give in to the night or the darkness inside your heart. I think it's because I knew that about you. That's why I wanted you to help me. It's been so fun, getting to see the world. I've lived here since the planet began, but I didn't know a thing about it. That it's so pretty, or that food tastes so good, or that people are so nice. I'm so glad I got the chance to discover all that with you, and I'm so glad that you helped me find my memory. Sonic, I will never, ever forget you. Thank you, Sonic. Goodbye, friend.
Hey!
No, let him go! Let him go!
Where do you think you're off to all by yourself?
What? But my memory is back now, and, well, from here on out, it's my responsibility, so, I mean, there's no reason for you to come along, so I should just...
Do I need a reason to want to help out a friend?
Thanks, Sonic.
Oh, the werehog just turned into like a Metal Gear villain there with that hand gesture. I don't know what's up with that. Yep, Chip is Light Gaia. I think that was pretty obvious. It was at least obvious he was tied into Gaia. But, yeah, Chip would have been a pretty alright character if his voice wasn't so awful. I mean, he still has a kind of obnoxious personality, but I don't think it would be as bad. Let's go during the daytime, because I really do not want to see any more of the werehog. No more than we have to, anyway. So, we're gonna get a lead from Professor Pickle. Oh, hey, it's Wentos! So he's, like, finally actually living up to his calling. He's finally a salesman, although he doesn't have anything we need, i.e. chili dogs, and I did not want to talk to them. I wanted to jump. But yeah, we're going to get a lead from Professor Pickle on where the last continent we need to go to is, because we are entering into the end of the game. Pretty much once we leave Shamar right here, we'll be going into what I would consider, as I was saying before, the last story. This is like the canon's core of this game, or the end of the world from Sonic 06, but thankfully it's not as bad as the end of the world, because that is awful. Alright, Pickle Man, what do you got for us?
Sonic!
That's not creepy at all. Wait, what do you mean? I didn't see Tails when I came in. Bye, Pickle. We'll never talk to you again. Whoa, Tails, you were not there before. So this is kind of... not really. I was going to say it's a point of no return, but it's not exactly. You can kind of exit out of here, but there's no real point to it. So once you enter into here, I'd consider this the ending of the game. This is the second and final section like this in the game. Now these are fun, these are a cool break of pace. I said this before, it kind of would have been neat if every time you went to a new continent you got one of these sections, because it would give Tails a little bit more to do and it would make the adventure feel a little bit more cohesive. Because I like games where you go from area to area and it feels like it makes sense. A great example of that is Resident Evil 4. You know, you're not just warping around from area to area in that game. You know, from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, you walk that entire path, except for a few sections where they kind of bring you to where you need to go. But this would have made this adventure game feel more adventure-y, since this game is called Overseas Sonic World Adventure. But I could see how these would get really old really quick, so it's either make the game go on too long and have sections that feel unnecessary, or make the adventure feel like it's broken up a little bit, and I'd rather the adventure feel like it's broken up a little bit. You know, that's kind of what Sonic Adventure 2 did right and understood, that maybe we don't need the hub worlds, maybe we can just have an adventure game where they go all over the world and we don't need to explain how they got there. Because, like, 1 minute they're in City Escape, and then the next there's a whole bunch of pyramids. And it's like, okay, are these in the same area? Or did we just get here somehow? How did Knuckles get here? Did he hitch a ride on the tornado? How did we get in space? Oh, you know, there's a rocket ship in the pyramid. Oh, okay. Makes sense to me. I am not looking forward to this next video. I mean, I am, but I'm not. Because the final level in the game is... whoo boy. It's something else. And I'll leave it at that until we see it in the next video. Sounds like I'm ending the video, but I'm not. I wish I could. I wish I could just end it here and have the video play out. Because I don't have much else to talk about. It'd be cool if they did something else like this in Sonic Forces. A tornado section's always welcome, in my opinion. They can get kind of dumb. I think they've worked better in 3D than they have in 2D. Sonic Mania definitely reminded me of that. Because while they're fine, and I like the fact that you can't ever truly jump off of them, or jump off of the tornado, they still just work better in 3D. I like the sky Sky Chases in Sonic Adventure. Even these are pretty alright. And we got another boss with the Egg Cauldron. He's still not that bad. He's pretty much exactly the same as he was. I think it would have been cool if they could have recycled an unused concept from Sonic Adventure 1. Because in one of the Sky Chases, you were supposed to fight like a giant mechanical dragon. I think that actually would have been really cool to recycle here. Especially if they wanted this game to feel like like one of the adventure games. Although technically that boss wasn't unused, it's actually in the game and you can see it. I think you have to hack the game, but you can see it. It's in the game's files, which is very strange. I don't understand why game developers do that and still continue to do that. Because it only gives like modders and hackers just free reign to look at the things that were supposed to be in the game. That's why I don't understand a lot of the stuff that happened with Metal Gear Solid 5, like all the unused stuff in that game. The fact that Konami allowed like Kojima to put that final level, Lord of the Flies, or Kingdom of the Flies, onto a separate disc to essentially say, hey, look at this, there's a bunch of cut content in this game, doesn't really make sense to me. I think you'd want to keep that on the DL and say like, no, this game's finished, this game's exactly what it was supposed to be. And there's that concept art of Chico and stuff like that, which still breaks my heart to this day that that didn't happen. So there's a ton of cut content in that game. The fact that they willingly showed us some of it was like, what are you doing? This just makes this worse.
Cool.
So we have arrived at the final area of the game. Welcome to hell. So that's it for this video. In the next video, we will be given our nice warm welcome into hell itself. So see you then.